Dan, here we are. Friday Night Blitz, week 6. What do you think so far, Dan? Got any good games going on?
I got a bunch going on, Joe.
Yeah.
It is. We got to pay attention to a lot of these. I've got a lot of good games that are just kind of kicking off, or just in the second half. So a lot of things that are interesting. A lot of games people are looking forward to, and we've got scores.
We
So
do.
we can roll, get people updated on what we've got going on, what we're paying attention to. Just a reminder, we kind of split these games in half, and Joe watches half and I watch half of them, and we're looking for correspondents to check in. So we've got a bunch of ways to give you people the scores.
Yeah, we've got a couple of correspondents who've been checking in over the last couple of hours, which we appreciate. Keep it up. And, normally by this time, Dan, we've got some games that maybe are a little bit out of hand. So it's not that we don't pay attention to them, right? But, and there's Dave Arion checking in from the Montini game, right, Dave?
How you doing, guys?
Good. How are you?
We're doing good. We got a 21-10 in the third. Carmel Montini. We're having a good night.
Ball carrier.
Good night out here. Heck of a game, breakout game for Santino Florio.
10 for Carmel at the 34-yard line.
Izzy Abrams is having a heck of a game, and so far a great turnout on defense overall.
Yeah, that's great. So, what are we in the third quarter, Dave?
We're in the third quarter. We got about 5.5 minutes to go in the third. Carmel has the ball. They came out from halftime.
Pass was tipped at the line of scrimmage.
Carmel came out. They got the ball at halftime. They drove the field for a touchdown right out of the goal, right out of the gate. Then we got the ball back. Weren't able to get on the board. Punted it away to Carmel, and now Carmel has the ball on their 35.
Yeah, so Dave, it's a battle of the sophomore quarterbacks, right? Who's getting the better of that battle?
Izzy Abrams at the moment. Yes.
All right, good.
Man. So our
contender for Dane Jackson incomplete.
So we've been fortunate with some incomplete passes, but this number 6 for Carmel's putting the ball on his receivers. We've had some drops.
All right, good. Well, Dave, we appreciate you checking in. Will you check back in with us in a little bit?
You bet. Happy to, guys. Thanks, guys.
All right, thank you. Yeah.
All right, take care.
All right, always good to get correspondents live from the game to kick us off.
Yeah, and I think we've got somebody else checking in here too.
Hey, Joe. Social here. What an exciting homecoming toga night. St. Viator Lions receiving DePaul Prep Rams. We have 5 minutes left on the third quarter, and the score is a tie, 20-20. St. Viator Lions have the possession of the ball.
All right, and any players standing out for you there as far as St. Viator is concerned, or maybe on the DePaul Prep side?
Well, number 15 on Viator's side has been doing very well when it comes to tackling DePaul. So.
All right, very good. And what'd you say the score was again? It's tied up.
20-20, with 5 minutes in the third quarter.
Okay, great. Will you check in with us in a couple of minutes and give us an update?
Yes, of course.
Okay,
Thanks,
well, thank
Sergio.
you.
Thank you so much.
All right, we'll talk to you soon.
See ya.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Just
All right.
an overflow of correspondence, Joe.
Yes, an overflow and providing some good information there. I think 21-10 is what Dave Arion said from the game. Montini versus Carmel. That's in the third quarter. Dan, I got a couple other scores. Let me go right there, and I'll give you some updates. So,
Yep.
I've got the Mount Carmel and Brother Rice game, and this is tied up 13-13, Dan, with only 45 seconds left to go in this game.
Oh,
yeah, one of the things here, Jack Elliott, the quarterback, the outstanding quarterback for Mount Carmel, was out tonight. He did not play. Backup quarterback. I don't know his first name. Last name is Dowling. He's in. So this has been a real defensive battle all night. Neither offense has been able to do all that much. And this is going to come right down to it, Dan. 13-13, 45 seconds left to go in the game. Brother Rice is getting the ball back here right now.
Where are they at, Joe?
They are getting the ball on their own 35-yard line, Dan.
Okay. All right.
CJ Gray has looked good. He's been able to move the ball, but they just have not been able to put a lot of points up. So that's that game. We'll keep an eye on that and keep people updated. We've got IC and St. Francis. That is 14-7. St. Francis over IC, and that's in the third quarter. We've got the Marist Providence game. Providence scores again, and it is now 50-27.
Unreal.
Providence over Marist, and there's about a minute 20 left to go in the third quarter. Yep, bit of a surprise there, Dan. We just had one of our correspondents check in regarding the St. Viator DePaul Prep game. That's 20-20 in the third quarter. And we've got our other correspondent, Dave Aaron, who checked in. Montini 21-10 over Carmel in the third quarter. So that's where we're at right now with those games, Dan. How about you? Where are you at with some of yours?
Joe, as we were talking, we had some scores happen. So start with the Blue Division. Loyola has a 20-6 lead over St. Ignatius with 7 minutes and 23 seconds left in the third quarter. Right now, Nazareth has opened up a 31-14 lead over St. Rita with 5:32 left in the third. St. Pat's has just scored to make it 28-23. Bennett has the lead with 10:38 in the third quarter. So that just started. A bit of a surprise here. Fenwick currently has a 28-12 lead over St. Lawrence. So that game also in the third quarter. Joliet Catholic, Joe, has a 28-0 lead over Notre Dame, and Marmion currently leads Marion Catholic 14-7. So that I think just entered the fourth quarter.
Yeah, I guess the game that surprised me the most on that, Dan, is the St. Lawrence Fenwick game, right? I thought, St. Lawrence comes in, they come in undefeated, 5-0, really been playing good football. So for them to be down, I know Fenwick had a week off last week, and I don't know, maybe that rejuvenated or energized them a bit, Dan. They came out tonight, and sounds like they're playing well against St. Lawrence.
Yeah, they are really playing well, and I believe they just got a safety, Joe, to make it 30-12. Their defense has been flying around, really hard hitting, just relentless defensively against St. Lawrence, and that's what's been most notable in that game, Joe. And as we talk here, Bennett just scores again. They've had several long touchdown passes. They missed the extra point, so that game is 34-23. With 10:05 left in the third quarter. A lot of points tonight, it feels like.
A lot of points. You know what else? A lot of missed extra points.
Yeah.
I think I've seen at least 6 or 7 missed extra points tonight, which we always say pending the extra point. And there's a reason we say that. And it's because they seem to get missed a lot in these high school games.
It's high school football. So,
high school football.
Bennet's just barely got over the line of scrimmage on their extra point attempt. So there's always interest in it, and you can't take those for granted like you can in college or the NFL.
No, for sure. And as we were talking here, Dan, St. Viator just kicked a field goal. So they go up 23-20 over DePaul Prep. They're still in the third quarter with just under 5 minutes left to play. We've got 23 seconds left in the Brother Rice Mount Carmel game. It's tied up at 13-13. Brother Rice has the ball and they are moving down. They're inside the Mount Carmel 35-yard line right now. So this one might come down to it. C.J. Gray, long pass, hits the wide receiver. He goes out of bounds at about the 4-yard line, Dan. So Brother Rice knocking on the door here.
How much time
for
is left, Joe?
16 seconds.
Wow.
16 seconds. Yeah.
Well, as we talked about in our preview episode and our picks, injuries start to play a factor. Obviously, a big factor there. Jack, you see how important Jack Elliott is. I know Brother Rice is a really good team and playing well, but Jack Elliott certainly makes a difference when they're 30 points below their scoring average tonight.
Yeah, for sure. And looks like Providence just scores again, Dan. I don't know. They found a bunch of offense tonight.
Wow.
They're up 58-27 over Marist right now.
That is the most surprising score of the night. I can't believe that Providence has had this offensive explosion. I don't know what they found, but to get that level of improvement at this point in the season, that's pretty staggering.
It is. And there's about, I think it's 9:52 left to go in that game. But yeah, we've been talking about the Providence offense. And wondering when they were going to get on track. I think you've watched them last week, and like their young quarterback. I'm kind of spread out amongst all these games, so I can't really tell who's playing the quarterback position right now. But whoever is, they've had the offensive explosion there tonight.
Yeah, A.J. Rayford was the sophomore quarterback that came in, and it looked like he made their offense flow a little better. Joe Marmion scored while we were talking here, so I believe they're up 21-7. So unless a correspondent can tell us different, they aren't showing the score with this one. So that can be a challenge to know the score when you're following 6 games. But it looks like they are 21-7 in the fourth quarter over Marian Catholic.
Okay. And let's see. Mount Carmel just called a timeout. But Brother Rice is, as I mentioned, they're 2nd and 5 at the 4-yard line of Mount Carmel with 11 seconds left to go in this game, Dan. So let's see. I'll be watching this one closely just so we can provide an update. But again, score tied 13-13. I guess the big story for Mount Carmel tonight and for this game is Jack Elliott was out the whole game. He didn't start the game with some type of injury. We don't know what that is, but it's definitely made a difference in their offense.
And Joe, did you say Brother Rice has the ball? Is there a timeout on the field?
Timeout on the field by Mount Carmel. They've just come out now and they're lining up. Brother Rice has the ball, 2nd and goal from the 5-yard line.
And under 10 seconds left in that, right?
9 seconds. Yep. Okay. Yeah, and DePaul Prep has the ball. They're trailing St. Viator 23-20 right now with 3:35 left to go in the third quarter. This game went really back and forth in the first half, and they traded scores within about the first quarter and a half, and then it really slowed down. The defense is kind of caught up on both sides of the ball, so this might be a grind it out here in the second half. But DePaul Prep's got the ball at about they're inside their own 30-yard line. Oh. There was a pass from C.J. Gray to, let's see, who is that? I don't know who that wide receiver is. I'm looking there, number 14, just off the tips of his fingers. He was in the end zone, hit him right in the hands, although he did have to leap a bit, but that fell incomplete. So it's now 4th and goal with 4 seconds left, and Brother Rice brings out their field goal kicker, Dan.
All right. Well, let's hang there. That's a really big upset brewing that we want to make sure that we're in on. So
yeah, here we go. We're lined up for the field goal kick, and Mount Carmel tries to ice him, calls a timeout. So we've got a little bit of a break here. Dan, but I'll be sure to let you know when they come back out on the field. We'll get right back to that one. The score in the St. Francis IC game. This is in the third quarter. St. Francis or IC just scores. They miss the extra point, and it's 14-13. St. Francis over IC at this point. With looks like there's about 6.5 minutes left to go in the third quarter in that game, Dan.
All right, Joe, and St. Rita or Nazareth scored again. They've opened up a big lead, 38-14, with 1:19 left in the third quarter. So,
all right,
there's a game that we didn't expect to be a kind of a blowout, and that's a 4-score game. So, pretty incredible there.
All right, Brother Rice back out to try the field goal to win the game. There's a snap, there's the kick, and there's a penalty flag. The kick is good. Let's see what the flag is here. They're still trying to figure it out. All the Brother Rice players are kind of turning around and see if they head back out onto the field. But as of right now, there was a field goal, which was good, but there was a penalty flag in the end zone thrown towards the line of scrimmage. See what they call. Yeah. And the Brother Rice players are now celebrating again, so I'm guessing it was against Mount Carmel. So this is a final, Dan. Brother Rice 16 over Mount Carmel 13.
That is a big score. Wow, that is something else.
It sure is. And obviously Jack Elliott being out makes a big difference for Mount Carmel, and why wouldn't it? He's an outstanding player. And as I mentioned earlier, tonight was really a defensive battle between these two teams. And sure enough, it comes down to CJ Gray was able to march them down the field with 45 seconds left from about their own 35, gets it down to the Mount Carmel 5-yard line. They stall there, fourth down, bring out the field goal kicker. He punches it through. They win 16-13.
Man, and we talked about Brother Rice's back being against the wall, right? And
yeah,
they needed a victory. We looked at the schedule, looked like it was going to be really difficult. Here's one that probably most of the state of Illinois would have picked Mount Carmel, and Brother Rice would have really been in a rough spot at that point. But this is something that's a great win for Brother Rice. Kudos to them and their coaching staff and the players. Excellent job everyone did. Congratulations to Brother Rice.
Yeah, and the Brother Rice fans are storming the field, Dan, as you can imagine. Yeah, it's not quite like you see, in college, but it's close enough. They are a happy group of fans, as they should be. So Brother Rice, 16-13 over Mount Carmel, big upset. I don't know if it'll be the biggest upset, but you mentioned Brother Rice back against the wall. I think this brings them to 3-3, right? Yeah. They were 2-3 coming into this, and Mount Carmel moves to 4-2 now. So they still haven't quite clinched that playoff berth yet, Dan.
No, we've got a few games out there where teams had an opportunity, and St. Lawrence is already in, so they've got their 5 victories. But right now it's 30-12. They are driving, so they're in the red zone against Fenwick. But that game is still in the third quarter. So that's going to be one to watch to see if Fenwick can hang on. They right now have a 18-point lead. So with 3:46 left in the third, Joe, St. Pat's looks like they are in Bennett's red zone. First and goal from about the 1st and 10 from the 14-yard line. 4 minutes and 20 seconds left there. A lot of points for St. Pat's too. So they haven't looked like this. They look like they found a bit of a ground game. They're really big up front and seem to be able to get some holes against the Bennett defense.
It looks like we've got somebody checking in. Is somebody out there from the St. Viator game, right?
Yep. Hey, Joe.
How we doing?
We're good. Okay. Okay, so the score is 23 for St. Viator and 20 for DePaul Prep, which is the Lions' first down. There's a flag on the field pass, but it was incomplete for the Lions. There are 2
Okay.
points on the play. It'll be Rams' first down on the 10th yard line, down to 1 minute of the 3 quarters.
So we're down under 1 minute in quarter 3. We've got St. Viator up 23-20. They kicked a field goal, and St. Viator's with the ball right now as well, right?
Yes.
All
And
right.
now we're on the 4th quarter, and we got 12 minutes left, so.
Okay, so this is a close game, really close game. Yeah.
Really hope Lions take home the win.
Thanks, Ochil.
Yeah,
Yep,
thank
of
you.
course.
Yeah, check in again, okay?
Will do. Thanks for having me.
All right, thank you. All right, so got let's see, we've got a couple of additional updates here. I think I gave you the score of the Marist Providence game, and that is Providence 58-27 over Marist, and that's the start of the 4th quarter now, Dan. So that's a bit of a surprise too, don't you think?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, that's way more points than Marist has allowed all year, and I thought I would have put them in the top 2 or 3 defenses in the Catholic League, and they just for that to happen, there's really that's just a huge surprise. 58 points. I mean, against teams that are overmatched is really something. That's a big score against that defense at Marist as well.
Right, at Marist. It looks like somehow the game has changed here. I'm going to have to do a little adjusting on the on which game we're actually watching now in the Marist Providence broadcast, but I will get that figured out, Dan. As our correspondent just said, we've got 23-20, St. Viator over DePaul Prep. Montini still a 21-10 lead over Carmel Catholic, and that's coming up on the end of the 3rd quarter. Let's see who else. We've got St. Francis and IC. That's a close game, 14-13. Right now, St. Francis over IC, and that's in the 4th quarter as well.
All right, Joe. So while we're talking here, Naz gets a pick 6 against St. Rita. Extra point is good. Still in the 3rd quarter, Naz has a 45-14 lead over St. Rita at St. Rita, which is also a big surprise.
That is a big surprise, Dan.
Yeah, that's a lot of points against another, what I would have called the top 3 defense coming into tonight. And so that is Nazareth is really humming. We thought that they were getting it all together over the past couple weeks, and they really seem to. So, Joe, quick update: we have a 20-6 Loyola lead with 9:32 left in the game over St. Ignatius. Loyola has the ball at their own 30-yard line. Excuse me. Looks like St. Pat's either winning to score or they're trying a field goal. I think they have scored to make it 34-29, pending the extra point against Bennett. Another high-scoring game. Looks like St. Pat's is another one of those teams that's found their offense. Joe, one team that still seems to be struggling offensively is Notre Dame. They are down 28-0 to Joliet Catholic in the 4th quarter. Now that stream has cut off for some reason, so I'll have to see if we can get that.
I'm shocked, Dan. I'm shocked.
Yep, extra points good at St. Pat, so that's 34-30, a Bennett lead with 2:11 left in the 3rd.
Did you say 34-30?
34-30.
Whoa, yeah, that I did not expect that kind of score. Actually, maybe I expected Bennett, to put up 34 points, but I did not expect St. Pat's to score 30 points on Bennett.
It's been Bennett's big plays against St. Pat's steady drives. St. Pat's has been going down the field in chunks, and Bennett's really not been able to stop them. But St. Pat's, once Bennett gets the ball, they seem to score in less than 5 plays. They've had several big plays from quarterback to receiver tonight. So we'll see if that continues. I think if St. Pat's feels like they can get a stop, Bennett hasn't really stopped him yet. So be interesting to see how this one plays out. Joe, the St. Rita has the ball at just crossed their own 50 as we go to the fourth quarter. They are down 45-14. So that one Naz seems to have in hand.
Okay. So Dan, let's talk about a couple of our teams who came in tonight that had 4 wins, and maybe are getting their playoff ticket delivered to them, or hopefully delivered to them. So, anyways, we had St. Lawrence, right? They're 5-0, so they were in. We had a couple teams come in tonight with 4 wins. One being Bennett. Another being Nazareth, right?
Yeah.
And we've got DePaul Prep. So, right now Bennett and Naz are winning. So they're on a good track. DePaul Prep losing right now by 3 points to St. Viator, and that's in the fourth quarter now. They're losing 23-20 with just over 10 minutes to go. But I think by the end of tonight, Dan, we'll probably have 1 or 2 more teams within the Chicago Catholic League that will be playoff eligible. We'll see.
Yeah, Joe, and while we were talking, St. Lawrence kicked a field goal, so to make that 30, that game is 30-15, just near the end of the third quarter, about a minute and 20 seconds left. So that game is not over yet, and St. Lawrence still has an opportunity. So we'll see how that works out for St. Lawrence, being the only undefeated team left in the Chicago Catholic League. I'm sure they want to hold on to that. Right now, there's an injury timeout.
So how is I don't know if you've been able to determine this or see this at all, Dan, but how is our dog of the week, Gabe Kaminsky, playing for Nazareth tonight? Can you tell at all?
Their defense has been outstanding. So they have really dominated this game. They've scored offensively, defensively, so they are dominating. I don't know in particular, what Gabe Kaminsky has done, but certainly as a team, the Nazareth defense is playing really well.
Yeah, they've got to be. They've only given up how many points? You said to Rita?
14.
14 points, yeah, on a really good St. Rita offense. So Naz seems to be clicking on all cylinders over the last couple of weeks, Dan.
Yeah, they certainly look like it, and you can expect for them to hop up in the ratings. I don't know how much the ratings will take into account Jack Elliott being out, but like I said, you've got to give credit to Brother Rice on that victory. So don't take anything away from them. Did a great job tonight. But Naz certainly looks like one of the best teams, top 2-3 teams in the Catholic League right now.
Yeah, and you mentioned for anybody just joining us that a final 16-13, Brother Rice beats Mount Carmel in what has got to be an upset, right? We talked about Brother Rice backs being up against the wall. They were 2-3. Mount Carmel came in at 4-1. So with the 16-13 win, Brother Rice gets to 500 and makes their maybe road to the playoffs, or 5 wins, look a little easier than it did before tonight's game. And Mount Carmel now 4-2. One of the things that we mentioned is that Jack Elliott, the quarterback for Mount Carmel, was out tonight with an injury. So that definitely made a difference in their game. And they struggled a little bit on offense for sure, as you can tell, only scoring 13 points.
Right, Joe. And as we're talking, a couple scores here. Marmion scores to make it a 28-7 game over Marion Catholic. And what's a bit of a surprise, St. Rita goes down the field pretty quickly, scores to make it 45-21. Naz with 10:28 left in the fourth quarter. So a couple scores as we're talking here.
Yeah, and another one on this side too, Dan. It is fast and furious tonight. 21-13, St. Francis scores, goes up 21-13 over IC. there in the fourth quarter.
Could you see how they scored, Joe, or no?
I did not. I think it was, well, I caught the very tail end of it. It looked like a pass from Brady Palmer. Don't know who the receiver was who got that, but it was inside the 10-yard line. He made a move, got into the end zone. So it was a pass TD by Palmer to one of their wide receivers. Just not sure who that is, but the score is 21-13 St. Francis over IC.
All right, Joe, and as we're talking here, Bennett, another 50-plus yard touchdown pass. I think it was to Luke Wilds. There was a penalty as he went in the end zone. It may have been unsportsmanlike. I don't know if that negates the score. I don't think it does, but it may. But Bennett's just had big play after big play tonight. It's funny. We've had a lot of scoring and some big plays tonight. From a lot of different teams, so really interesting here. So it does look like they're backing them up for what looks like the extra point. Not sure how they're gonna score that. If he scored it unsportsmanlike before he went in the end zone, or maybe it was after. So we'll have to see. They haven't changed the scoreboard yet. 34-30. We'll see what happens. We do have another final, Joe. Marmion wins 28-7 over. I think it's 28-7 over Marian Catholic. So
21-7.
21-7.
21-7. Yeah. Okay.
21-7. Marmion over Marian Catholic. That's a great win for Marmion.
That is a good win.
At home.
Yeah.
So yeah, they did not count that score, Joe. But literally on cue, Bennett drops back, throws another long touchdown pass. This time to Luke Doyle. So Bennett does get the score after all. They'll make it. That makes it 40-30, pending the extra point.
Pending the extra point. Right.
Pending.
Yeah, and DePaul Prep scores, Dan, 27-23 now. DePaul Prep leading St. Viator with 8:12 left to go in that game. So both of their offenses seemed, after a bit of a lull in the second quarter, now they come out in the second half, and they're kind of picking up where they left off. You've got St. Viator who kicked a field goal, went up 23-20. DePaul Prep, looks like a pass from Juju Rodriguez to, again, I can't quite tell who that might be Brendan Peavy. And they go up 27-23 over St. Viator. And, they win this game tonight, Dan, and this would be a big game, big story for DePaul Prep to get that fifth win and to get into the playoffs, right?
Yeah, that would be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
that's a big deal. We talked about that. I'm not sure, if they've been to the playoffs as DePaul Prep, but that's a great story and one that we kind of predicted. So we have to pat ourselves on the back here a little bit because we thought that that might be the case for DePaul Prep this year. They were kind of pointing to this year. It looks like what they've planned is happening. So pretty excited for that group over at DePaul Prep.
Yeah, me too. And we talked to Coach Passarella before the season even started. He talked about his team and where they were at this year, where he thought they were at. Talked about, last year they kind of learned how to win and learned how to win some of the big games. And sure enough, here they are, on the door to getting in the playoffs. So I think we've got somebody checking in here right now, right?
All right.
Yeah. Hey, Joe. Okay, so we're 10 minutes into the fourth quarter. Number 2, Juju Rodriguez completed a pass, and it's first down Rams. DePaul Prep with the possession of the ball. Juju Rodriguez in the end zone scored. Now it's Rams 26 and Lions 23. Number 81, Emmett Max, scored 27. Rams are 23.
So
and now it's 7 minutes to go. And the Rams have scored once again, and now they have 27.
So it's 27-23 DePaul Rams over St. Viator Lions. Is that where we're at right now? Okay.
Yes.
All right, and how much time is left there?
Now we currently have 7 minutes left.
Okay, great. Well, that's a close game. If you could check in with us in a couple of minutes and let us know where that game is at, it'd be great.
Of course.
So,
All
Jill,
right,
thank
you.
Yep.
All right. She's doing a great job.
She is. She's I like how she checks in every 3-4 minutes or when
Yeah.
something happens. That's exactly what we want. So anybody out there listening, if you'd like to do the same thing, make sure you reach out to us, contact us, and we can always use additional correspondence, additional people at the games, and calling in, and be a part of the fun, right? Dan, you and I are having a ton of fun, are we?
Oh gosh, Joe, I can't.
So much.
I can't handle this much fun every Friday night.
Yeah. 9 weeks of, more maybe, but a minimum 9 weeks of fun, Dan.
Minimum 9 weeks. Yep.
Yes.
Joe, and as we're talking, quick score update: Loyola scores again to take a 27-6 lead over St. Ignatius. 5:34 left in the game, so they seem to have that one under control. We'll see it. We'll see how that shakes out. But Loyola in a really good position, playing great defense tonight against the triple option of St. Ignatius.
Yeah, and unfortunately, Dan, the last score I had for the Marist Providence game, I had 58-27, and now I'm not seeing a score. They're not posting that anymore. I mean, I can still see the game going on, so I'm not exactly sure what the score is in that game, and I'll keep efforting, as they say, to see if I can get a score here.
All right. Yeah.
All right.
And it looks like we've got a timeout on the field. We still have a 30-15 Fenwick lead over St. Lawrence. 9:30 left in the game there. Checking in quickly for Nazareth against St. Rita. Right now, Nazareth has a 45-21 lead over St. Rita with 5:06 left in the fourth. And Bennett went for 2 and scored, was successful. So they have a 42-30 lead against St. Pat's with 11:22 left in that game.
All right. Well, that's the other team we talked about, Dan, that DePaul Prep, Nazareth, all knocking on the door for the playoffs to get that 5th win. It looks like Bennett is right on the cusp of doing that, which, for you and me, that's exciting too, because, for those of you who don't know, we're Bennett alums, so we follow them closely. Dan coached there many, many years. It's been a little while since they've gotten into the playoffs, so to see them get 5th win tonight would be really nice. I'd love to see them punch that ticket to the playoffs, Dan.
Yeah, all they needed was for me to leave, so that's worked out well for them. No, I'm watching. I'm hoping for the best. I'm happy that St. Pat's is playing kind of maybe how they expected to, and what we talked about. They were going to try and control the ball. Talked about how big they are as a team, so they are certainly doing that. They're moving the football down to the Bennett 40-yard line, so they're just kind of chugging away.
They are not going away, are they?
No,
they're not going away. Yeah.
So it's a tight game there. That looks to be about the tightest game so far. It looks like St. Lawrence is trying to mount a comeback here. They may have just turned the ball over on downs, so it looks like it's going to be Fenwick 1st and 10 at the St. Lawrence 40-yard line. Again, that's about 6 minutes left in the football game there.
Okay, and we've got a final, Dan. St. Francis IC. We've got St. Francis wins this game 21-13. So St. Francis goes to, I believe, 4-2. IC goes to 2-4. So IC's put themselves in a tough spot now, haven't they? Needing to get 3 more wins with
win out. Yeah,
got to win out. Yeah, got to win out. All right. So and Montini adds another score. They're up 28-10 with under 7 minutes left to go in the game, Dan.
Yeah, Montini's playing well. The past couple of weeks, they seem to be that putting it all together type of scenario where offensively and defensively they seem to really be clicking. Carmel's got a really nice offense and a strong defense. They fly to the football, so Montini, that would be a big win for Montini in the white division. So all those teams are neck and neck, talent wise, how they play. So really, if Montini can hold on, that's a nice win for them.
It is, and that was the battle of sophomore quarterbacks. So we've got for Montini, Israel Abrams, and then for Carmel, Trey Taylor. So two really talented young quarterbacks in the Chicago Catholic League going at it tonight in a battle there. And right now it looks like Israel Abrams is maybe getting the better of that. But obviously I'm watching a little bit of this game, and Montini's defense looks outstanding, Dan. There's got to be some members or some team members there that are going to be in the dog pound and up for the dog of the week, but their defense looks really good.
Yeah, Joe, and another team that's just played great defense all year, Joliet Catholic. They were up 28-0 at last reporting when the video feed went out.
Right.
But their defense looked great, and I know Notre Dame has struggled defensively or offensively this year. So really, but kind of what you might expect for Joliet Catholic, but they there's no let up in their defense at all, and they are really tough, physical. So we still, while we've got some offensive firepower going on tonight, and some teams that haven't really expected playing really well offensively, we still have some of those defenses showing up playing pretty tough.
Yeah, they are. And looks to me like St. Viator is backed all the way up inside their own 2-yard line. They've got the ball on offense here. There's it's in the fourth quarter. We've got about 5 minutes left to go in that game. DePaul Prep still up 27-23. I think this is a game of adjustments and halftime, Dan, especially on the defensive side of the ball. And it looks like DePaul Prep has kind of won that battle here because they seem to have been able to hold down St. Viator's offense pretty well here in the second half.
Yeah, Joe, we're coming down to the end of the game here. Nazareth just turned the ball over on downs, but it is 45-21. They have the lead. St. Rita has the ball inside their own 5-yard line. Just 50 seconds left, Joe. So pretty comfortable saying that's going to be a Naz win. So that gets them to 5, right?
Naz win, yes, that gets them to 5 because they were coming in. They were 4-1 coming into tonight. Yeah.
So they've really turned it around as far as the starts of the season go. They don't have to wait for any sort of drama on playoff selection night. They are in, and we can probably expect more wins from them this season because they're really good. They seem like they are really humming, like we've said, and so yep, that's going to be a final. Nazareth 45, St. Rita 21.
Wow.
In what's kind of a high scoring game. So pretty interesting there.
That is interesting, Dan. I mean, we've talked about St. Rita's defense and really good, and I'm sure that hasn't changed. But we've also talked about Nazareth's offense, with Logan Malachek, with their quarterback, with who else they got? They got Trenton Walker, James Penley.
Yeah. They're loaded.
I'm sure they did some damage tonight. It sounds like, Dan.
Yeah, with all those points on the board, like I said, I saw the pick 6. I didn't see who had it, but it did look like a tipped football. Maybe someone in the linebacking core had that, but they're really playing well and seem to be a team to beat right now in that Catholic League. They're in the orange division. Are they green?
Who's that?
Nazareth.
They are in the
green.
Green.
Green. They're the team to beat right now in the green. So St. Francis is right there, but Naz looks to be the team. Joe, another final. We've got Loyola with a 27-6 victory over St. Ignatius. I know that was one that you and I struggled to pick. So
Oh, we sure did.
we thought St. Ignatius, but I kind of felt like Loyola's hitting their stride. I think they are really really playing well. They're starting to bring it together offensively and defensively. It's taken them a little bit, but they've done a nice job on turning things around here in the second half of the season.
All right, Dan, I've got a major correction to make.
Okay.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
So the score in the Marist Providence game, little bit different than what I reported earlier, and I'm not even going to say what I reported earlier. So it is, with 8:49 left to go in the game, it is Marist 28, Providence 7.
Ooh.
Wait.
Place for accurate information, ladies and gentlemen. The Varsity Voices.
You know what? I'm going to follow my sword here, Dan, and I'm going to tell you the last score I reported for this game. All right, just so everybody knows, I don't care. Go ahead, make fun of me. I had Providence 58, Marist 27.
Yeah, we are nothing if not accurate.
And you said, "Oh my God, that is a huge surprise." I said, yes, it is. That's because it was wrong. 28-7, Marist over Providence. Now it's 7 minutes left to go in the game.
That's why we need correspondence. We need people who are standing there looking right at the scoreboard. Good grief, what a hit by Fenwick. Boy, Fenwick really, really knocks your block off. Wow.
Do they? Oh boy.
They've got some guys that really punch you in the mouth, that's for sure.
Yeah. Well, they've got the one guy that everybody talks about, Nate Marshall, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if he's making any of those big hits. And then they've got who's the linebacker? Is it Jack Paris?
Jack Paris,
Paris flies all over the field.
There. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm going to give you another name here that I've seen a couple times. Free safety, Tommy Thice, a 6 foot, 185-pound junior. I don't know if it's Thies or Thice, but I've seen him pack a wallop on several plays tonight. So really, really, they play great defense, and this is they added a score, so it's now 37-15. 5:45 left in what has to be considered a bit of an upset. I know the Fenwick people won't want to hear that, but St. Lawrence coming in 5-0. They had really, really been humming. Now, I did read today that their opponent's combined record was 6-19. So this is a little bit different look for them. Playing Fenwick.
All right, and I think we've got somebody checking in here, maybe from the IC St. Francis game. Is that you, Doug?
It is.
And that game's the final, right?
That game is final. Francis 21, IC 13. We had ourselves a pretty interesting game. Francis came out, scored right away immediately, just marched down the field, throwing the ball, running the ball. Pretty physical game. IC just, offensively just kind of struggling a little bit. Can't get the offense going. Actually, in the first quarter, Brady Palmer kind of muffs a snap. Ball kind of goes up in the air. IC guy picks it out of the air, takes it into the end zone for a score.
Really?
Yeah, crazy. So we got a defensive score from IC in the first quarter. And then Francis comes down, scores again, just moving the ball on the short pass. Dario catching tons from the slot. And then the offenses just go kind of silent for a while.
Okay.
IC actually comes up with a pick, like a 30-yard pick. Dean Kemp, Jr., picks off a 30-yard pass from Palmer to I think it was maybe Dean Washington on probably about in the end zone. runs it back 101 yards,
Wow.
a holding call. Yeah,
Amazing.
and no, it's a get a penalty back on the 15-yard line. So call it back, can't score, and then IC kind of comes back again, 65-yard run, called back on a holding.
Yeah.
So 2 touchdowns called off once again. Yeah, for IC, just really having some trouble on the offensive side of the ball, putting points up. And then
it seems like that's been a struggle for them all year so far, Doug.
Yeah, we've really had had some injuries. We had Tony DeWald break his arm the first game of the year, so he goes down. He's probably going to miss the whole year. He was going to be a big piece of the offense out there catching balls. We've had a couple of concussions for it's taken some guys out a couple games like Chance Williams. So it's been a struggle. There's been a bunch of freshmen playing up this year. So
okay.
Yeah, they've really kind of struggled a bit, but yeah, defensively, man, they're fighting tooth and nail.
Yeah, well, their backs are against the wall now as far as the playoffs go, Doug.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, Francis played a pretty good game. Moved the ball too, but yeah, they've had some turnovers, man. Couple picks, fourth down stall outs. So their offense wasn't necessarily humming, but it was they moved the ball. They were doing pretty well. They hit on a couple big plays. Palmer threw like a 60-yard pass to Dean Washington, and then hit on another deep ball. So it was a tough grind game. The Caldwell kid running the ball for Francis was just a grinder up the middle, man, running that A gap, just pounding it all night. So yeah, that kid ran really well tonight for Francis.
All right, great. Well, we really appreciate you checking in with us, Doug, and giving us some updates and some of the finer details that we don't get just from watching some of the broadcasts. So really appreciate it.
Yeah, cool. Hey, nice job, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, take care. And I think we've got somebody else checking in here too, as well from the St. Viator game. Where are we at on that one?
So, Chio, you're muted. I don't know if you can turn your microphone on.
Yeah, you're muted right now.
Joe, while we get her back, I can report it's 37 to 15. Fenwick is driving again, so they're in the red zone against St. Lawrence, moving the football. Bennett also has a 42 to 30 lead with 4:15 left in that game. They're also driving the ball. A lot of penalties right now in that game, so some interesting stuff happening here. There's again Bennett with a 42 to 30 lead, 4 minutes and 15 seconds left.
Yeah, and it looks like DePaul Prep has kind of blown it open here, Dan, with only about 3 minutes left. They are up 37 to 23 over St. Viator. So looks like they hang on there and they get their 5th win and a playoff berth.
Good for them. That's great. That's got to be a really good feeling. And we'll see if Xochitl can get on with us. Xochitl, again, your microphone is muted. I don't know if that's something you can change or have the ability to change there live, but we'd love to get the live update from you if we can. So, Joe, I got a correspondent reporting from the Marist game. The score is Marist 97, Providence 48.
Yeah, who's that? I want to know.
I will just say we know the correspondent. So, hey,
there we go. Yep. Come on in. Let us know what's going on in the Viator DePaul Prep game.
So it's not looking good for the Lions. We've got 3 minutes in the fourth quarter, and the Lions are 23.
We're gonna win.
And DePaul is 39 currently.
So it's 39-23 with only 3 minutes left to go in the game, right?
Yes. I really hope the Lions can bring it back.
I'm not sure. That doesn't seem like enough time to score that many points, but we'll see what they can do.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks for checking in. And, if you want to check in one more time at the end of the game, that'd be great. We're watching the game here too, but
Okay.
we always like to hear from you.
I'll wait until 1 minute left, and then I'll tell you the score by then.
Awesome. Would love to hear it. So check back in with us.
Thank you.
Yep. Thank you.
All right. Correspondent heavy tonight on Friday Night Blitz, Joe. I love it.
We are. I almost can't keep track of it, Dan.
Yeah.
Which is actually that's nothing new. Yeah. But I do have 28-7 Marist over Providence right now. Not 98-7, whoever that smart ass was who checked in and said that.
97-48.
97-48.
Yeah. Your public loves you, Joe.
I know they do. And it was going to be the first 100-point game I ever talked about. Yeah.
And we can't even blame it on there is no 58-yard line. So maybe you were looking at the clock.
No, that I watched.
Was that reported on the scoreboard? Did they have a scoreboard?
They had a scoreboard. Yeah. And I thought, oh, this is perfect. And I would see somebody score, the score would change, it was going up and up and up. And I apologize to both the Providence fans and listeners and the Marist fans and listeners, because I can just imagine me reporting a 58-27 score, Providence over Marist, and the Marist people all in the stands just throwing their hands up and saying, "You suck." The Varsity Voices.
Burning
Yes.
Varsity Voices t-shirts.
Right. If we had t-shirts. Yeah. They'd definitely be crumbling them up.
Yeah. All right, Joe. I know that JCA ND went final. That was 28-0. That game is now a final. So Joliet Catholic, they moved to playoff eligible, correct?
No.
They're 4-2. Both those.
They're
teams
4-2. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So, as just reported, let's see, DePaul Prep on the cusp of getting to the playoffs. They're 39-23 with 2.5 minutes left to go in that game. You mentioned the Bennett score. What is that one again, Dan?
That is 42-30 with 2 minutes and 16 seconds left. So Bennett has the ball in the red zone. So it's now 3rd and goal. We'll see if they can punch it in or if they settle for a field goal attempt. So Joe and it looks like Fenwick also going for a field goal attempt. They didn't show if it was good or not. Doesn't look like it was good. They have not changed the score. So 37-15 with just 47 seconds left in that. So looks like Fenwick's going to pull off the upset at St. Lawrence, 37-15. Big win for Fenwick.
Big one for Fenwick. And as we rattle off the scores here tonight, Dan, I am starting to get a little bit of a sweat going. I don't know can you see that? Can you see that a little bit on my forehead? And the reason why is because I think I'm getting trounced on my picks this
really?
week. Yes.
Oh, yeah. Gosh, I hadn't thought of that at all. I
Like,
saw some of these games coming out, and I was like, I think this puts me in a pretty good position pick-wise.
Yeah, I am not looking good right now. Although I don't have it right in front of me, and that's probably a good thing. But I'm just trying to recall some of the teams that I picked for tonight, and I don't think I'm doing as well as I had hoped that I would do, Dan.
Sure. Joe, it looks like Bennett, it's 4th and goal, 2 minutes left. They are going for it. So they're at the 5-yard line. They get stopped. So St. Pat's will take over inside their own 5-yard line with 2 minutes left to play, down 42-30.
Down 12, 2 minutes left to play, starting on their own, did you say 4-yard line?
It's going to be the 3 or 4-yard line.
All right. Well, let's see. Bennett can seal it right here. They just got to, stop them right here, Dan.
Yep.
Let's see. Looks like Montini Last score I had for Montini and Carmel was Montini up 28-10 with under 6 minutes left to go in the game. And unfortunately, I am watching that game, Dan, but I'm not getting any kind of score or any kind of time left in the game. So we're relying on some others and some correspondents to kind of update us with that. But we'll keep everybody up to date on that as well.
All right. And Joe, real quick update. First play from scrimmage for St. Pat's. They throw an interception, so the ball gets turned back over to Bennett. It'll be Bennett 1st and 10 at about the 10-yard line with 1:50 left. So looks like Bennett will move to 5-1. They are a team that is now playoff eligible. Unless something crazy happens or the scoreboard's completely wrong, but I don't think it is. And they've done a nice job. This has been a good broadcast by St. Pat's tonight. Very well done. So we have to give kudos. We break bad on all these broadcasts that are awful. So we have to make sure we give kudos to the good ones.
Yeah, and that's a good point, Dan, because the Brother Rice broadcast of tonight against Mount Carmel was really good too. And let's see, previous weeks we've noted the Mount Carmel, the Caravan Broadcast Network. They do a really nice job. Nazareth Broadcast Network, they do a great job as well. So there's some really good ones out there. It seems like the only ones that we have some trouble with from week to week are those where it's just kind of a camera feed and you're not getting anything else, and maybe you can hear the PA announcer, if you turn up the volume a little bit and get some information that way. But some of the schools and their broadcast teams and broadcast networks, like we just mentioned, they do a really, really nice job. So keep it up.
Yep. Joe, and it looked like Bennett went in for a score. There are flags on the plate. Looks like things are getting a little chippy.
Chippy
at St. Pat's, pretty chippy at Triton.
Chippy. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
yeah. Oh, they're at Triton, huh?
Yeah, they are at Triton. So I know St. Pat's plays a lot of their home games there, but looks like that one's down to, there's still 1:40 left. It's one of those games that's going to take half an hour for it to end. So.
For the last minute and a half, right? Yeah.
They did give Bennett the score, so Bennett is up 48-30. Extra point is
pending.
So,
right.
So, all right, we've gone final with at St. Lawrence, where Fenwick comes into St. Lawrence and defeats the Vikings 37-15 and that's a big score. St. Lawrence coming in 5-0. Fenwick, I believe, Fenwick may have punched their ticket, Joe.
Yeah, I think they have. They had because of that forfeit last week, so they got that win. Yeah, I think they have, Dan. All right, we got somebody checking in here. Is this are we final yet at the St. Viator DePaul pub game?
We have 50 seconds left. The Lions are still 23, and the Rams are still 39.
Okay.
I think the Rams are going to take it home this time.
Yeah, it sure sounds like it. Any players on either side of the ball stand out to you tonight?
No. Wait, actually, yes. Pass completed by Davian, Alice, and then 2-point safety for DePaul Prep.
Oh, they had a safety. All right, yeah. I think I saw that. So that was interesting. They had a safety, then they scored another touchdown, right?
Yes.
All right, excellent. Well, we appreciate you checking in as always, and this game is going to go final within a minute, right? Less than a minute. So unfortunately, and I know you're a St. Viator fan, but unfortunately they're not going to get the win tonight, but. We really appreciate you checking in and giving us some updates.
Of course. Happy to.
All right. Well, we will talk to you soon, and hopefully at the next game.
I'll see you next weekend.
All right. Sounds good. Thank you.
Have a good one.
You too.
Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you. Bye-bye.
So, Joe, it looks like we just have a couple games left. So Bennett is now up 49-30. That game has still a minute 36 seconds. I don't know if they're running the clock there or not. It feels like it's been that same time for the last 20 minutes. But Bennett looks to have that one in hand. St. Pat's played really well, especially in the first half. It was back and forth. I talked about St. Pat's really showing up offensively where they haven't much this year except for their game against Larkin. So
Yeah.
if they can take anything away from this, it is that they had a lot of success in the Catholic League offensively. They definitely got some things they can build on. Bennett, like we talked about, goes to 5-1. They're one of the few five win teams now that is guaranteed a playoff spot. So
Yeah, that's pretty.
Congratulations to Bennett. That'll be exciting. I know they want to finish better than that, but certainly better than they've done the past 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, for sure. And for you and me, it's a good thing. We're happy for Bennett, for them to get back into the playoffs. It's been a little bit of a drought for them in the last I don't know how many years, Dan, but I'd love to see them this year and get to that 5 wins, get into the playoffs. And I'd love to see the way they're scoring points. Their offense really seems to be humming. You've got Ryan Kabaki at quarterback. You've got the Lukes at wide receiver. You said Marty Rogowski was back tonight. Did you see him make an impact, Dan, on either side of the ball?
He had a score, and he's out there defensively. So yeah, he's kind of the straw that stirs the drink for Bennett. So
yeah, sure is.
So the we'll see how this one plays out. Like I said, 49-30 with just about a minute and a half left in the game. And DePaul sounds like DePaul Prep also. Will they also go to 5-1, Joe?
DePaul Prep will go to 5-1. Yeah, they punched their playoff ticket. They've got to be excited. This game is final, Dan. The DePaul Prep St. Viator game, 39-23. DePaul Prep over St. Viator. So they go to 5-1, I believe. Yep. And St. Viator now goes to I think it's 3-3. So yeah.
So St. Viator has moved from undefeated 3 in a row. That's always tough to handle. That makes for some tough practice weeks. They're probably feeling a little bit of pressure. Joe, and we can do a little schedule hunting here, and if I look at it, I see DePaul Prep at 5-1, Bennett Academy at 5-1. They close the season out playing one another. So that'll be interesting to watch. I know they've got 2 games between now and then, but interesting to see how that purple division will shake out.
Yeah, it is. And it looks like the Marist Providence game has gone final, Dan. The score was 116-54. No, I kid. I think the final score is 28-7, Marist over Providence. But don't quote me on that. That was the last score I got. There was only a couple minutes left. I didn't see anybody score. So I'm thinking 28-17, Marist over Providence. So that does that put Marist in as well? Are you schedule hunting?
I am schedule hunting. So let me see here. If we
or were they 3-2? They might have been 3-2 and go to 4-2, but I will let you look that up.
Marist moves to 5-1.
All right, boy.
They're in.
We knew tonight was going to be the night, and going to be an exciting night for a couple of teams, or many teams within the Chicago Catholic League. Exciting for DePaul Prep, for Bennett, for Marist. Who else? Was there anybody else? I think that's it at this point, right?
Well, St. Lawrence was already in.
St. Lawrence was in.
They took the loss. So now another interesting fact, there are no more undefeated teams in the Chicago Catholic League.
No, there's not. And That doesn't surprise me all that much, does it?
No,
You?
no, we
Yeah.
talked about that early on when we started the podcast. It's one of the things that we wanted to highlight about this league is just how tough it is, and you know, we kind of coined the phrase Catholic League.
Yes.
When we thought Brother Rice might be getting Catholic League, IC getting Catholic League, where these are really good teams. They'll probably, some teams that don't get in will look at playoff brackets and be upset, even more upset because they feel like they could have made a run in the playoffs. And Joe, it kind of brings up it's a good time to bring up something that was in the news this week about the IHSA.
Oh, let me hear
They
it, Dan.
they had sent out questionnaires to all the schools about playoff expansion.
Oh,
And
yeah, yeah, yeah.
so playoff expansion, didn't get all the details, but what most of the details were was that they would kind of almost double or add another group of teams in each division. So how it played out was that every team would get that was either 4 and 5 or 3 and 6
Even
would get
some of
a
the
play.
2 and 7, I saw too. Some two and
Okay,
seven teams are get
yeah,
in. Yeah, but
you
keep
know, and
going. Yeah,
and at first glance, people think, oh, that's terrible. There shouldn't be it, but I think every other sport, just about lets most of the teams in. Basketball has the teams in the regional, you know, baseball, softball. So it would be more in line, and it definitely would help a league like the Catholic League to add some of those teams. It would also keep, some of these teams from wanting to switch conferences year in and year out. I know people want the regular season to matter, and it still would. It actually would. I think within the Catholic League, my personal opinion, it allows you to really fight for that division title and have that as a goal. Right
do you?
now, the division
Yeah.
title is almost meaningless to these teams.
Now, do you think the division title would be more meaningful or less meaningful in that scenario, Dan, where they added another 120 teams to the playoffs? Because I read the same article today. And there were two questions that popped into my head. One was that would it make the division titles or the regular season more meaningful? And the other one was if that's the case, and I hate to say this, but do you have teams towards the end of the year, the really talented teams, and there's a lot of them, who are kind of resting their players, all that kind of scenario. Does that raise its ugly head if they let more teams in? What do you think?
Really good point. You might have some of that. I don't know. I don't necessarily. I would hate it if that became the norm.
Yeah,
It is high school football. These guys aren't under contracts. They're only guaranteed 36 games throughout their career, right?
right.
So
Yeah,
so if you're a high school football player, you want to play in those 36, and that I would not want to be rested. I wouldn't want to miss a game of my high school career. If we're way up, that's one thing. Way up or way down, and you take out starters and play backups. That's how it should be.
yeah,
But to rest people because you've got a game where you think, oh, it'd be better to give this guy a day off. That's kind of gaming the system. I would like to see the conferences be conference division champions. So if we keep it in the public league or the Catholic League, division champions, maybe, because you can get a bye as well. So there is
right.
still incentive. So
So is
you
that
can,
is that a carrot? A carrot enough, Dan,
for
for
sure.
these?
I
Yeah,
think for sure,
yeah,
especially with how if they would spread it out. I would love to see them go back to, this is back in the day when the playoffs started on Wednesday right after the season ended. Now, coaching, I'm sure coaches would hate it because there's only 3 or 4 days to prepare before a game and a new opponent. But I don't think they'll do that. I think they'll keep it on a weekly schedule. But that's just a personal preference. So interesting to see. We talked a lot about teams getting in the playoffs tonight. So that will be something to watch. I think it's probably going to pass. I think it cures a lot of ills in these leagues, and it makes scheduling a lot easier for a lot of these programs that are having a difficult time finding teams to play in.
Yeah, I think so too. And if there are any kind of drawbacks or negatives, I think as you go forward, I think overall it would be a positive. And as you go forward, if you do, some things kind of surface that are like, we didn't think that was going to be the situation by doing this. You can always adjust, which they've done, a lot over the course of the years. You can always adjust and make things better. So, I would love to see that. I think it would add a lot of interest as well. For some of these programs that maybe haven't been able to get into the playoffs, for a while now. I mean, I think it adds a lot of interest on behalf of their fans, on behalf of their parents, on behalf of the players. And I think it's probably overall a positive, from a numbers standpoint, from an interest standpoint, dare I say, from a money standpoint, Dan. More games, more playoff games, more people paying to get in to watch the games, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, you got to. Sometimes you do have to follow the money. I hate to say that, but I'm sure it's a factor. So, and being discussed. Well, Joe, why don't we run through scores? So I think everything's a final. We do have a Saturday game that we didn't touch on, but and we do have a. Well, I don't know. That game is going to be Saturday. So that was the forfeit game. But why don't we go through our scores again real quick for people who are just joining us after their games then?
All right, let's do that, Dan, because I think even though the Montini Carmel game is not final here, I think it's under a minute to go. And let's start with that one. Montini, looks like the score here, even though I can't see it, but I've been tracking it and looking at some of the correspondence weighing in. Looks like 35-10 win, Montini over Carmel, Dan. Bit of a surprise to me, although you and I did both pick Montini, but I thought this game would be a little bit closer than this. So Montini looks really pumped. They go to 4-2. I think Carmel goes to 3-3 now. So good game there at Montini. It was a blackout night for them. The fans and the stadium was rocking on the Montini side, and they come away with a nice win over Carmel, 35-10. Let's see. So that's one score. We've got the Mount Carmel Brother Rice game, which went final earlier, and this is a bit of a surprise. 16-13 win for Brother Rice over Mount Carmel. Bit of a defensive battle here tonight between these two teams. As we mentioned, if you were listening in earlier on the broadcast, Jack Elliott, the quarterback, the outstanding quarterback from Mount Carmel, was out for this game, so their offense did struggle a bit. But Mount Carmel Brother Rice comes away with the win 16-13. We've got the St. Francis IC game. St. Francis wins this game 21-13. Not a lot of offense in this game either, but these teams kind of traded blows throughout the game, and St. Francis kind of wins out in the end and wins 21-13. You've got the Marist Providence game. Marist wins this game, I believe, 28-7. Dan, for those of you listening earlier, I had it completely wrong, and go ahead, trash me, whatever you want to do, comments, social media, I'll take it. St. Viator, DePaul Prep. DePaul Prep goes to 5-1 in the playoffs for the first time since I think they changed over from Gordon Tech. They win the game 39-23 over St. Viator. And let's see, I think that's it. Oh, the game I just mentioned, 35-10, Montini over Carmel. What do you got, Dan?
All right, so games that have finished here. So all mine are done. So Loyola beat St. Ignatius 27-6 in the blue division. We've got Nazareth with a 45-21 victory over St. Rita in what many expected to be a closer game. Nazareth was kind of in control the entire game. Opens it up in the second half, and again that final is 45-21 Nazareth over St. Rita. We have Marmion defeats Marion Catholic at home, 21-7. So Marmion gets a big victory in the red division over Marion Catholic, who I think we both picked early in the year to win that division. So congratulations to Marmion. Fenwick in what might be considered an upset. So 37-15 at St. Lawrence. They defeat the Vikings tonight. So Fenwick goes out and handily beats St. Lawrence. Again, that score 37-15. Joliet Catholic 28, Notre Dame 0. So Joliet Catholic continues to play great defense. They get another shutout. And they get the victory 28-0. I think that may have been the score at halftime. So kind of coasted, was in control from a defensive end through the whole game. And Bennett wins 49-30 in what was a close game, very back and forth in the first half. Bennett using big plays to score. St. Pat's kind of grinding it out. But Bennett takes control late in the game. That game ends 49-30, which allows Bennett to be playoff eligible. So that's my scores for tonight, the games I had on, Joe. So some good games, some surprises. Regardless, always interesting.
It is always interesting. And, it looks like, Dan, we may be ending a little early. Are you feeling bad about that?
No. I mean, I'm good. I'm good either way. That's no overtime games tonight, right, Joe?
No overtime games, no games that started late. So it's been different from previous weeks, and it gets everybody at the games out of there at a decent hour, and us as well. But I think the only game which is still, and like I said, it's under a minute to go, and is the Montini Carmel game. But I think that's ending up right now, 35-10. So I think we've given everybody all the scores they need, Dan. And it's been another really nice Friday Night Blitz with a lot of good games. Exciting. We've had several teams punch their playoff tickets tonight, which is always exciting for us, as well as those teams and those players who've done that. We'll be back with another episode, Dan, where we'll give a little bit more detail on the. We'll do our quick hits recap episode over the weekend, and that'll come out on Monday. So make sure everybody's looking for that. Also, let's see what else. Next week, obviously, we'll have our predictions episode. We'll have our Friday Night Blitz episode. So we've got a lot more good information coming your way. A lot of good episodes coming up. And we appreciate everybody who weighed in tonight, and we appreciate our correspondents coming in and giving us some updates and some details on the games. As you said, Dan, correspondent heavy tonight, which is always a good thing. Anybody else who wants to do that, feel free to reach out to us wherever you're listening from or on social media, and we'd love to have you join the podcast, join the live podcast for Friday Night Blitz. So. Thank you for listening. Did you want to say something, Dan?
Real quick, Joe. Just it has gone final. 34. Montini was 34-10 over Carmel.
34-10. All right.
That's our final.
Another big win. And we'll give some more details on that in our recap episode coming up over the weekend, and you'll be able to listen to that on Monday morning. So everybody, thanks for joining. Thanks for listening. And we will talk to you soon.